Want that. Special delivery. I need that. Special delivery. Welcome to the Special Delivery Podcast. I'm your host, Special, and on this show, I do one of two things. Either I'm highlighting brand new music that's dropped, or I'm sitting down with artists to break down their latest project, and that's what we're doing today. Iman Europe joins me to break down her album, Nami, and we talk about everything you don't know and should know about it, including a breakdown of every single track, the producers she worked with, the artists she worked with, the journeys, the concept, everything that went into it, and we also talked about her incredible affirmations book and so much more. So let's get into it.
What's up, you guys? This is Iman Europe, singer-songwriter, lyricist from Los Angeles, California.
Super talented, amazing Iman Europe is here. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk about Nami. Such a good project, and I know it's been such a journey for you. It's been a couple years in the making, a lot of work, a lot of love went into this. Kind of give people the backstory to it. In a second, I want to get into, I believe there's concept within concepts in this thing, but just give people the backstory of this Nami project.
Okay, so the way Nami came together, this label out in Japan called Sweet Soul Records, they reached out to me. I had this EP called Hello Mellow. And they were like, hey, we want to put that out. And I was like, well, you can put that out, but I'm also working on this album if you want to wait for that. Mm-hmm. So they went ahead and put that out in Japan. And so I had my first album out in Japan, but I didn't have it out here in the U.S. And my fans were like, yo, what's up, you know? So I told them, hey, the difference is out there, I'm signed to a label. You know, out here, I'm still independent. They're taking care of everything out there as far as marketing, putting it in the stores, all that. But out here, I'm independent, and I don't have the funds to really release it the way that it should be because I felt like it was such a good album, you know, and I couldn't just throw it out on SoundCloud, you know, or I couldn't just put it out there and expect for it to. So I did a Kickstarter, and I was like, hey, guys, if you really want the album, let's make it happen, you know, because I can't do it on my own. And, you know, I'm going to need your help. And I was really nervous. It was nerve-wracking. Raising $10,000 in 30 days? Psh, that's a stress that you don't even know about, okay? But it worked, and we ended up with overflow. We actually had 10,600. So after that, I just was like, oh, I have people are behind me. I have support, and it just really like made me go. I was like, oh, it's time to go now. Yeah, so we got everything together, released it, and now we got Nami.
That's such a beautiful thing. As a creative, as a person putting something into the world, to put yourself out there in a way like, hey guys, you say you want this, but now we got to show and prove. And they came through and they overflowed. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing, and feeling like really supported. People feel supported, you know, in different ways, but it's like that's real, tangible, beautiful support. Yeah. Like I said, such a great thing for such a wonderful project. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And now the concept within the concept. I feel like the interludes are not only helping us through the story of the album, basically taking us through this whole relationship, but there's also this like concept of a ship where you're literally on a ship with this person. How did those concepts come about? Which one kind of came first? Kind of walk us through those visions.
So I should let you know that Nami means wave in Japanese. Oh, no. Yeah. So when I was thinking of the album name, when I was releasing it in Japan, I was like, I don't know what to call it yet. Mm-hmm. But I knew it was like autobiographical in a way. And my nickname is Nami in my family. The closest people to me call me Nami, Iman backwards, you know. And then Nami meant wave. And I was like, well, the album's really wavy. And then I'm like, and there's so many layers as far as, you know, for me, the whole ship is like when we get into a real relationship with somebody, we're deciding to sail together wherever this thing is going to go. We're just going to see it through. And we decided to leave shore, which is single land. And it's just me and you. And we're drifting now. And we're going to just make it work throughout the album. You know, at the beginning, he's so excited. You know, like, yeah, we're almost there. We almost made it. Like, we're almost locked in love. We're almost there. You know, and then I'm not really I'm asleep. I'm just like, yeah, you know. Then when we finally get there, now I'm excited. I'm in. We're here. We made it. Well, I'm in love. Let's do it. And then it's like, oh no, Mm-hmm. And then it's that thing where sometimes it's really hard for two people to be at the same place at the same time. And I really wanted to highlight that, the differences in that. It's a lot of layers there, though. It goes way deeper.
No, it's so cool to hear there's even more layers than I even felt. You know what I mean? Like, Nami meaning wave just really ties it all together. Like, that's so incredible.
Yeah, and it also means us in Polish.
Like, these are the things that you can't even create. Like, they just happen, and you're like, wow.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Yes. We gotta hop into the first track, Love Spell.
Usually I'm independent. I'ma need my space to handle business, and I hit you when I finish. But every time I leave, you call me back. Now you got a spot where my heart beat at. Calling you away. I'm calling you back.
Really introducing us into the project, like we talked about, introducing us onto the ship, and really talking about how this isn't really your type of thing. You're really, a lot of us can relate, like, you're just used to being solo, doing your own thing, and you kind of go under this love spell, and it just takes away,
whatever
hanging out
I'm
with friends and everything you're used to. What was it like making that one?
The way it was making the whole album, very varying, I wanted it to begin, my favorite album is The Love Below. So the way Andre, constructed that album, it was in storytelling. He starts in the beginning, and he works his way through a story. And I wanted to kind of mirror that in a way. And I was like, what is the beginning of this story that I'm telling? Mm-hmm. And it is that. It's when you kind of start distancing yourself and like realizing the changes that you're having within yourself and with everybody around you and what you're falling into. And, oh my God, what is this? Is this love? Is da-da-da? And I wanted to jump straight into that mindset that we're in when we realize I'm caught up right now. Like, I'm caught up into you, and just I wanted to start it right there. I thought that was the best place to start the album.
And then that leads us to studio.
He was like 6'5", big lips and brown eyes. His mind remind me of the sunrise. It got bright about a minute. I'm too caught up to be committed. Now I'm feeling different, cause I just wanna race to you. With skates on, got me praying you could stay.
Well, we kind of get more information about who this person is and how you guys interact and things like that. And also, it's just basically the anthem for an artist's love story.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are constantly in the studio, and it's like, well, are you thinking about me and thinking about you? Like, what was that one like?
Well, see, studio, I made that maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, studio is an older one, 2-3 years ago, maybe. Not 3. But making that one, it's just exactly what you said. Sometimes when you're in the studio, it's like, I know I'm thinking about you. I'm sitting here writing this song about you. I wonder if you're thinking of me, And I wanted it to be the second song just to give more of an intro to who, just to paint a picture for the listener. I really wanted it to be an audiobook. I really wanted people to be able to follow it like they would follow a book. Yeah. So if the first one is about me, what I'm going through, the second part has to be about the other person in the story. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wanted to paint that picture of who this is that, whoever I'm talking about.
No, you can really see it. Like, I really think as an audiobook, you can really see each scene, basically. Yeah. Like, it's a movie. You see it from scene to scene. So you can definitely see the both of you in different studios kind of going back and forth. Mm-hmm. So that's super cool.
Thank you.
Then we get into my favorite, High Tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Because the West Side is the best side.
You already know what it is.
It's so good.
And I know you don't usually do this, but I'ma get you high tonight. And I know you don't usually do this, but you're on the West Side tonight.
What was that one like?
Oh, man, that was great. I did that one with Contraband when I was working on Hello Mellow. After Hello Mellow, we started doing a few other tracks. High Tonight was one of them, and I was like, wait a minute. And The crazy thing is I recorded High Tonight in New York because I was so sick. Yeah, I was so sick of them, like going against California and all this stuff. I think that was kind of like me, just
bragging
a little bit. Like, nah, I don't think you know what you're talking about. The West Side is the best side. This cold is whack. We got good weed. We got everything you need.
So good. You mentioned Contraband. What were the other producers that you worked with on this project?
So Wayne Valentine. This dude produced 6 out of 12 tracks. He did Love Spell. He did Time. He did Troubled Waters, the interlude. He did Issues. He did Me. And he did Simple Things.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yes.
Couldn't have did it without him. And a lot of these songs were done before, like Speedin'. I think we're getting to that one next. But that one was done before he came in. I was going through whatever I was going through. And he just sent me a pack of beats. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's time to make an album. I didn't even know I was making an album until he sent me those beats.
Coming in with the clutch. I love that. And now, of course, Speedin'/Sprung. And it's kind of just telling about the relationship moving fast and you kind of falling even more into this love spell. What was that one like?
So it's broken up into 2 parts, and Sir produced that. Sir from TDE. Yeah, that's my brother. That one is the oldest song on the album. That's so crazy. But that one, I think we always find a time where we're like, I'm so engulfed in this right now, and we're going so fast, but I am not slowing down because this is a rush, so I wanted to highlight that. So, and then at the same time, speeding is like speeding on the way home, like you're hurrying up to get home to do what you got to do. And then sprung is after you did what you had to do, and you're like, oh man, he done put it on me. Now I'm crazy. I'm sprung, I want to do everything for you. I want to hold you down. I want to whatever you want me to do.
So good. And then Time.
Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Oh, you should go and find out what you need inside.
It's almost like a wake up and almost like a foreshadowing, but really just don't waste my time. Like, hey, if we're speeding and I'm sprung and we're getting into this ship, don't waste my time. Let me just remind you before we go any further.
Let me let you know, I know what your flaws are. Here are some of mine. But look, now that I know for sure that I'm in this, please don't waste my time. Because, just to let you know, just throwing it out there, don't waste my time. Okay, now we'll continue,
So important. What was it like writing that one? Because you're kind of in this space to where it's like everything's beautiful, everything's great, but to take the time to be like, hey, just a reminder, like, nah, don't mess this up.
I think that I really wanted to write this for lovers. I was going to say for women, but well, it is kind of for women, but
Okay,
but when you're in love, it's like you have those thoughts because you find yourself so on a cloud and you just like, wait a minute, my vision is blurry. I don't know what's going on. Let me come down for a minute. You start trying to rationalize things. And in doing that, you want to make sure that you're in the right place. So you'll have these kind of conversations with your partner just to make sure that you're still safe here. And I just thought that was a good place to put that song because that's kind of how it is. We're good. I'm not saying we're not good, but don't waste my time though, just as a reference. Yeah.
I think it's important though that this album is for women because you hear a lot of love songs by women especially popular love songs by women, and it's just very cute and fun and and then you hear breakup songs and it's like, oh, it's terrible, and it's like, no, there are these in-between moments, and it's so important to take the time to show those moments and feel those moments, because women feel that all the time. Even if you're in such an incredible, amazing space, sometimes we sit back and go, wait, is this what I think it is?
And we self-sabotage.
Yes.
A lot of times. That's another part of it. And that's another layer of the album, because things were fine until you get in your head, and they usually are. You know what I mean? On both ends, because I got in my head on Time, and then he got in his head on the Troubled Waters interlude. Once you start doing that, that's when it's just like, okay, this isn't gonna work.
And then sometimes
it's warm in winter, sometimes it's cold in spring, sometimes I want my liquor, sometimes I want my weed, sometimes
where you're kind of telling a little bit more about yourself and just kind of explaining who you are as a person. Of course, Fat Ron on that one. How did you meet Fat Ron, and what was it like working with him?
Well, we're all connected through Inglewood. So, like, you know, I know Sir and Tiff, and DK is the producer of this, DK the Punisher. I think we were at Fat Ron's house, and I was telling him this idea that I had for a song. And I didn't have a beat, and it was just like, I smoke and drive sometime. And then he was like, oh, no, we got to do that. So he calls DK, and he's like, yo, can you come over here? We got this song. We need a beat. And so he came over, and we just made it. Yeah. It's a great track.
Is that a typical writing process for you? I know, of course, with everybody it varies, but is that more your typical thing? You think of a melody and the producer comes in and kind of writes to it? Or, I mean, you were saying how Wayne sent you a bunch of beats and you kind of wrote to those. So what's your usual style in a sense?
It really is 50-50. It really is, because I'll create a whole bunch of voice memos, and then if I get around a producer, I'm like, hey, do you have a beat for this? Or can you make something for this? Because, you know, this is the idea that I have. Or sometimes I'll have those ideas, hear a beat, and be like, oh, that could go to that, you know. Or I'll get a beat, and I'll just create straight from there. So it just changes all the time.
Makes sense. But it's a beautiful process.
Thank
regardless. You. Like being able to put incredible words, incredible melodies, and then either putting them to a beat, whichever way it happens. Like it's a beautiful,
Thank
beautiful
you.
thing.
Thanks, Special. I appreciate it.
Of course. And then the beautiful, incredible blessing. If you haven't seen the video, the people need to watch the video.
Whoa, it's hot.
Gorgeous. It's so good. We need that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I ain't gotta say too much. You already know what's up. Tell Valet, get the car out the basement, pull it to the front. Probably shouldn't have stayed this long. Probably shouldn't have drank this much. Probably shouldn't blaze this up.
You know what's so funny? The guy that's in the video, that's the voice on the album.
Yes. I love cohesiveness. Give me the cohesiveness.
Yeah, I'm real loyal to whatever I'm doing. So, yeah, I had to do that.
Shout out to him. We appreciate that.
Shabi, Rashad, Isaiah.
And blessing is just bragging on yourself, and it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here for it.
Listen, just in case you forget, you know, this is what's going on. You know, don't forget out here. All right? Yeah. So sometimes you just have to put those little reminders in.
What was it like writing that one?
I just feeling myself.
Yes.
I was like, what? My love is the shit. You get in that mode sometimes, and I really wanted to make, like, I guess this album, it is for women, because I wanted to make so many songs for women in different areas of life. Like, that's when we're feeling ourselves. That's when we're getting dressed. That's when we're realizing who we are and where we are, you know. So that's what that was for.
Super, super important.
Thank you.
You know, we're starting to get more women anthems as the years pass, but it's like we still need it every moment we can get it. Like,
and I don't want them to be corny, though. I don't like the corny, we are a woman. You know, like, I'm good. Like, it could be dope, you know? And so I just wanted to make sure to do that.
And that proves that you can make a dope anthem that isn't corny.
Right.
And then it's sad that we're getting there, but we're there. That leads us to troubled waters.
Dun, dun, dun.
He starts questioning whether he wants to be on the ship anymore.
Baby, we made it. Look what we created. It took a while now, but I let my guard down, and you had the patience. But now we under the dark clouds, we going through changes.
How was the writing process of the interludes themselves? Was it something that you wrote out, something you guys kind of felt and kind of improvised? What does that look like?
The interludes were not written. We just got in the studio. He knew the story, kind of the real story of what happened. And so we just got in the studio and just improvised. I told him how I wanted him to be, kind of, or where we are in the story. And so he was like, yeah, I got that kind of person in me. I could do that.
I mean, it's real.
Yeah, you know. But he's a great guy. So it took a lot for him to, like, bring it down, you know. We were just in there, and he said something. When we were doing it, I was getting mad at him. Like, shut up. You're getting on my nerves.
That's how powerful it is.
Yeah. When I said, so how long you been feeling like this? When I listen to it now, I can hear my, like, jaw clenching. Like, so how long you been feeling like this? And he's like, a while, like before we got on the boat. Like, yeah. Then why'd you even get on the boat with me then?
Seriously.
And I think that's the question of the whole project. And I think that is the main point of the whole project. You know, if you're not sure, don't just be out here using people or doing this because it's fun or, you know, in the meantime or killing time, you know, because someone else's emotions are involved and you just don't want to do people like that, you know, so. And sometimes that's not even what it always is. Like in my real situation, that's not really what it was. But I just wanted to highlight that for people that are going through that. You know what I mean? So.
And then issues. Another favorite, because you just air them out.
Just let it run. Let it run. Hey. Look, I really don't know where to begin. I like to say we started as friends, but the truth is you stalked me for 2 years on Instagram and Twitter, praying.
Dang, aired them out.
And like, I don't know how closely it is to what you've actually been through, but the details
Very
are
true.
thick. Goodness. But at the same time, unfortunately, so many of us have been through something that is similar to that. The manipulation and the just kind of weird shit that goes on. Like,
Why are you doing that? Why did you do that?
Why? You talk about bearing your soul, and many of these songs are bearing your soul, but this one, to really put the details out there like that and really let people know that this happened to you is a real bearing of the soul and really brave in a sense, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. A lot of people wouldn't even talk about what they've been through, let alone put it in a song and put the details in there. What was that one like?
That song was originally 8 minutes long.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just went in. It was therapy for me.
Yeah.
It was right after, it was probably the day after everything fell apart, and I just don't know how to process things without my pen. I just don't know how to do that. So that was the first thing I'm looking for, like, because I got all these thoughts in my head, and how do I get them out? And I'm like, I really don't know where to begin. And that's really how it flowed the whole time. Flewed. Flewed. I flew out. But yeah, that's crazy how Instagram will really have you saying words that are wrong. Like, I really just said that because I see it every day. That's crazy.
But you're connecting the dots in a sense. I think the love spell thing, when we're under the love spell, we kind of miss things or rationalize things where it's like our normal self would kind of question it and be like, oh, this doesn't really match up. And then afterwards, when everything kind of crumbles, you're like,
Oh,
wait.
I'm connecting the dots.
You followed me for how long on Instagram and seen how much of my life?
Oh, and didn't I tell you on track 5 not to waste my time?
She told
you. And you did it anyway. And I knew. I can't say I didn't know because I knew what was going on 5 tracks ago. So I can't be so mad at you. You know, I got to take some kind of fault. But at the same time, you're doing this and it's just a little wild. Mm-hmm. So anyway, that track was 8 minutes long initially. And it was therapy for me. And, you know, I just wanted to be as explicit as I possibly could. Mm-hmm. Because I needed that for myself. I needed to be able to flesh things out. And I also needed, like, for future references to remember what happened. Just in case I think about stepping back in this box again. Just in case I kind of forget. I can listen and be like, oh, yeah, nah, you know?
Accountability.
Absolutely. Oh. And I wasn't even going to put that song on the album at all. I just played it for my friends, you know, after the album was done. I was like, oh, and this is one that didn't make it, but, you know, I'll just play it for y'all. Mm-hmm. So I played it, and they were like, what? Mm-hmm. You have to put that on the album. That's the meat of the album. Mm-hmm. You can't put the album out without that song. And I was like, oh, and as you said, you know, it's really brave, but I was afraid a little bit, you know, to put that out there. You know, I don't want people just knowing all my stuff. I'm very private. Mm-hmm. So it was hard for me to decide to put that out there. But I knew that a lot of people, a lot of women, again, would be able to attach to that and be able to find themselves in that some way. And what was even cooler were the guys that reached out to me afterwards. And they were like, hey, you know, listening to this song made me realize, like, I've done women kind of like that. And it's made me reconsider the way that I treat women and how honesty is important and this, and that. And that was better than anything. Like, oh, you guys got it. Oh, yeah. So I think it was worth it in the end.
To hear that, you're lightweight saving the world.
Absolutely, yeah. Do we need to do something? We need to reevaluate the way that we're treating each other, especially when it comes to honesty and, you know, just leading people on and wasting people's time. I think that if we service those parts in relationships and just like focus on that, we'll be a lot more healthier just with the way that we're loving and treating each other.
Very much so. And what was the process like taking it from 8 minutes to where it's at now?
Because I'm just like, all right, man. I'm ranting. This ain't for the world. Everything ain't for the world, you know? So I'm just like, all right. I went in. I was listening back like, nah, I don't got to do them like that. I don't got to do all that. So we just like cut 5 verses out, you know?
Oh, man.
And, yeah, I just sometimes with music, my brother, sir, he taught me, like, you got to simplify sometimes, you know? You got to leave space. Who wants to listen to an 8-minute song? At that point, it's like, okay, girl, get a psych or something, you know? Like, so, yeah, I cut it down.
It's so good to be able to laugh at it in hindsight.
Yeah, for sure.
That feels good.
For sure.
And then me with the incredible Ilk Milk.
Ooh, I love her.
All right, hey, look. I realized I've been doing me a disservice, thinking I deserve anything less than I've been serving. Hey, I had to dig real deep and get below the surface and see.
A great self-love anthem. Nobody can love me like I love me.
Mm-hmm.
We need that, especially after what we've been through in this project. We needed that. We needed to feel that.
The project starts here, and then it's just here, and it's like, ooh, don't waste my time, but we're still good. And then it's like, zoom, all the way down.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, it does that. And it does it quick, and you got to figure out how to get from out that pit. And that's what me was for me, because I spent a lot of time just staring at a ceiling. And I remember I was in the shower, and I was like, what am I doing? You know, that's when I wrote that song. I was like, I realized I've been doing me a disservice, thinking I deserve anything less than I've been serving. And I was like, yeah. And I just kept going. So all of this is it's a genuine album, and that's why I held it so dear, and that's why I can't just throw it out there to the world however which way, and that's why I'm real protective over it. And, not protective in a way that I don't want it to flourish. I want it to go as far as it possibly can.
No, you understand its potential because it means so much to you, and people love it because it is so genuine.
Right, but there were a lot of deals I couldn't sign. I got deal options, deal offers. It's just some I couldn't sign because this album is really great. It's my first baby, so I had to take care of it. Maybe I'm too territorial over it or whatever. But I think that's to be seen. We'll see.
No, but it shows itself too. Like even into the earlier conversation about the Kickstarter and being able to go over the Kickstarter. It's like, no, you know the worth of this album and the people know the worth. It's a full circle thing. Everybody knows the worth of it. So it's like, go as we get further into the music industry and as doors open up, you learn that not all those doors are great doors.
Oh, no.
So for you to be able to say, hey, this deserves something greater, and being able to accomplish that and hold this incredible project up to what it's supposed to be, like, that's an accomplishment within itself.
Thank you. Yeah, that's super dope. And even on a business aspect, it's like if I can raise $10,000 in a month, we're gonna have to talk a really nice number, so yeah, I'm thankful for this album and how it's taught me way more than I ever expected it to. And the things that I expected from it are amplified. The things that I got from it are amplified. The love that I feel is just, a lot of people put out their albums and they're not sure how it's going to be received. I already knew I had 130 people that could not wait to get the album that already basically had it, so I felt confident. I felt really confident, and I'm thankful that that's the way I went into my first album, with my people. And it makes me want to do Kickstarters again, even when I don't need them, but just because of the packages that I was able to give out. Oh, which, by the way, I have something for you.
Oh, you're too kind. Yay, the book. You got to tell people about the book.
Yes. I got you the Nami album and the affirmation book.
Oh, my goodness. I love this so much. I've seen this online, and it's so dope. In person, guys, it's gorgeous. There's so many. You went in.
Oh, I went in.
Goodness. And we need that. I talk about so many journeys, but as we go through this journey of life, a lot of us are starting to understand the power of affirmations and how that will alter your whole day. And in altering your day, you alter your week, you alter your month, you alter your year, you alter your lifetime.
Absolutely.
And it's like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Let's talk about the book.
Okay. The first part is Nami Says. And those are just different things that I've learned, like in my journey, different words of wisdom that I wanted to give people just to encourage you, because it's so easy to get discouraged. I have to read that sometimes because I'm often discouraged, and I have to remember, like, oh, okay, we got this. I wanted to give that to people. And then the other half is I say. So those are the affirmations that people will practice for themselves. Those are written in first person, like, I am this, I will be that.
You talk about how you've been collectively kind of gathering these. What's your gathering source? Do you kind of put notes in your phone? Do you have a journal? What does that look like?
Twitter.
Nice. Yes.
Twitter is a great place. That's where I started. There are a lot of notes that I keep, to myself on my phone. And then I have another place that I keep stuff when I know, like, this is book material. I'll put it over here, but Twitter kind of gets the ball rolling for me because that's everyday things that I'm learning every day, so I can revisit those and then edit those and put some of those in there with the other things that I have. Yeah.
I love that. I think Twitter is such a good vehicle for that. And I don't think a lot of people tap into it as far as just kind of keeping a log of themselves and, the things that they're going through. But at the same time, putting something out into the world, putting an affirmation out there, putting a realization out there is so powerful. So, and then to take it all and be like, oh, hey guys, this is actually a book. Like, you need to physically have this and be able to peel through it.
And I wanted it to be small, like a pocketbook. I wanted it to be small because you could just put it on your coffee table. You could just put it anywhere. You could tear them out. You can put them like all on your wall or whatever, just so that it's easily accessible. You know, there's no reason you don't have to lug around a big ass book, you know, to get some affirmations in.
I love how thoughtful that is. Like being able to have the option to tear them out. Like it's such a thoughtful thing. And like you said, being able to carry it around wherever you may need it is so thoughtful. And then of course the artwork. Amanda Kaufman, this is gorgeous.
Yeah.
How'd you team up with her?
Props.
Yes.
Yeah, I met her through this guy. His name is Chris, and he was like, "There's a really dope artist. Her name is Amanda." And I was like, "Oh, let me see what she got." We met up with her. I was working with him at the time, and we met up with her, and man, she was really dope. I said, "Whoa!" And I told her kind of what I wanted, and she brought that back, and I was like, "Oh, you're a genius. Cool." She's awesome. Shout out to her.
Speaking of covers and arts, the Nami cover.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. What was it like shooting this?
That wasn't even the original cover. That's just crazy. That's from the Blessings video.
Yes. Okay.
And we had another cover. We weren't completely sold on it, the whole team. We were like, I don't know. Because the shoot, that's just another story in itself. We had to hike for the shoot. It was just really long.
Goodness.
Yeah. But we brought out Joy to shoot just background scenes and background stuff. And she shot that. And we were like, wait a minute. It was a bigger picture. We just kind of cropped and we was like, I think that's the album cover. And it's so much to this album cover.
Exactly.
That I just knew that that's what it has to be. The colors, everything. Him back there in the background and the blur.
You looking at yourself and how powerful that is, and it kind of lighting up where you are, where he's kind of in the back shadow, is powerful.
And, you know, this is me. This is Iman. The reflection of me is backwards. That's Nami.
Like, you're killing it. Like, oh, I love it so much.
I'm an artist, so I be trying to, like, every time I can find some art in something, I'm trying to do it, yeah.
But we appreciate it.
We put a lot of time into it, and a lot of love, a lot of money, a lot of everything. So I'm happy it came out the way that I wanted it to.
Yes. Yeah. So good. Back to me. Il Camille, I know you've known her for a long time. What was it like getting on a track with her, especially that track, because it's so, like I said, it's a self-love anthem. Yeah. It's great.
She's just so inspiring. I'm so happy that I know her. I don't have a lot of friends in the music industry. Not a lot of people I would call a friend, you know. And I consider her one of my friends for real and for sure, you know. And, you know, when I was going through that rough time, she was going through a rough time. And just as women, you know, that's so powerful when we're able to come together in those times and lift each other up. And she knocked that verse out so quick. And I was like, yo, I looked over like, yo, you are a unicorn or something. How do you just do that just like that? That verse is a classic until the end of time. That verse, what? We went in and we knocked that out. It was quick. It didn't take much time. Yep.
She's so good. I'm such a fan.
Me too.
And that leads us to another incredible lady, Zaya Bell, on Simple Things.
I woke up, roof on my head, inside of my lungs. Heart still beating, ain't stopped since the day it started. Whether it was wounded.
What was it like working with her on that one?
Zaya is also on Me.
Oh.
Yeah, she's doing Like I Love You. Yeah, she's back there. And she's on Simple Things too. And everybody on this album was around in that time. I didn't reach out to anybody that, you know, like, oh, can you be on my track? Like, it was people that were with me, that were uplifting me, that were next to me, you know. And so, and I just happened to have some incredibly talented friends. But other than that, everybody was a part of the process musically and also just me, just whatever I was going through at the time. So I think we all have our own kind of attachments to this because we can like recall different times. And like with Zaya, she knocked that out quick too. Because Zaya is, what? She's out of this world. Her vocal range, her vocal control, out of this world. So, yeah, she came in and knocked that out. That is probably my favorite verse on there. The rap that I do on Simple Things, yeah, I think that's my favorite verse on the album.
And then Good Life.
Your shit. Yeah. Do your motherfucking shit.
Putting all my pain in the bottle, putting all my fear in it too. Way too many days it's been mellow, way too many days it's been blue. If I could choose to be what I wanna be, then I'ma be love and I'ma be light, and it's gonna be good and it's gonna be right. I'm getting rid of this shit I don't want, packing the bottle and sealing it up, send it to sea and telling the genie take it away.
Oh yeah.
The conclusion, the reflection, the just affirmation, honestly. It's a good life. And that track starts with somebody congratulating you on the 10,000. Do we get to know who that is?
That's my big brother.
Yay.
My big brother Curtis. He's so New York. Yo, I just heard. He's hilarious. But yeah, he called. So when we were doing Good Life, it was just really empty in the beginning. And I'm like, something needs to be right here. If this is going to be the last song, we got to put something right here. And so I was going through my voicemails because I have like 400 of them. Honestly,
As a
no
true
exaggeration.
artist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, well, this is the time. So I'm going through them. And I heard that one. I was like, oh, yeah, this is perfect for concluding. Especially that intro, that was more so for the people that knew and follow my journey, that know that I did a Kickstarter, that know the whole thing, and bringing the album together. So I thought that was a good way to just seal the deal, close it up.
Super congratulatory and super just
Grateful.
Coming through.
Yeah.
Just making it through. Both the relationship, the self-love, and the Kickstarter and the album, it's very congratulatory in a very conclusive way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else you want to tell the people about Nami?
Let's spread it. Let's spread it more, because I don't have a big machine. It's just me and my people. We're making it work. We're doing some pretty big things in 2019. I can't really say yet, but we're moving it. But let's just spread it. Every time people send me different clips, I'll watch them, even if I can't post them all, but I watch all of them. I'll respond to them. I really appreciate it, because this is an organic growth. This is nothing that I put money in. People were telling me, you gotta all of the rules that people told me was hilarious. You got to pay artists to promote it. You got to do this, do that. You got to do that. And I'm like, I'm sure I could do that. And I'm sure that it'll give me great results. But me, in the long term, me who I am, I'm so much more about organic and genuinity. Please only post my stuff if you actually like it. I don't want you to post my stuff and then I find out later you didn't even like it. What's the point of that?
What?
No.
What are we doing? No.
Right. So that kind of helped me see who's with me for real too, because I didn't have to ask anybody. So everybody who you saw post just posted it. I didn't even ask them to. So it's just a love project. It's a support project. So, and especially for it to be my first one, I know how far I'm going to go. I know how long this thing is going to be. So this is just for me to see who's who, what is it like organically before I touch it, before I have to do anything. And it went way further than I could have ever expected. But I just really want us to keep pushing it, keep telling people about it, keep spreading the word, keep showing love.
That's all we can do. It's easy. Word of mouth goes so far. Just being able to tell people hey, I heard this and I love it. I think you'll love it too.
Right.
It's as easy as that. Yeah. Once again, congratulations again.
Thank you, Special.
Thank you for coming and talking to me and letting me know all the little pieces of it. I appreciate that so much.
No
that
problem.
warms my heart. And you're just an incredible person. This is our first time meeting, but we know a slew of people together. So it's to meet you, sit down with you. You're just incredible. So I wish you all the best. I'm here to support. I'm excited. So
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem. And thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever you're listening on, and then reach out to me. Let me know what your favorite part was. Just say hi, anything. I'm on Twitter at SpecialSays, and on Instagram it's at SpecialSays as well. As always, this episode is dedicated to Marlon. Do what you can to stop senseless acts of gun violence.